What's up, you guys? It has been quite a long time, really a long time, and I am back with another inconsistently scheduled Unity tutorial, which was made in direct correlation with this GitHub tutorial, which you can see on the screen here. Throughout this video, what we're basically going to be doing is refining a couple of things, fixing the jump, as well as adding sprites. Firstly, start off by getting rid of the colliders and collider problem that we've been having. So by doing that, I'm going to do something that I thought I wouldn't be doing in this project. We're going to be importing the original sprites that were used or not the original sprites, but we're going to be importing and using sprites that were used in the game, simply because the adding colliders to them would simplify just about everything that we need. So without further ado, let's go on here. Oops, sorry, let me close this. So what we're gonna do is I have gone to this site right here that I will provide in the provide in the description box below. We have MarioUniverse.com, and they do various things, and I don't know what they do. So I'm going here, go to sprites, Nintendo sprites, Super Mario Bros. Sprites. They have various character sprites. You can see here the default Mario, Luigi, and Mario Fireflower, and various Luigis. It's very nice, very nice. And then they also have enemies and various other things, and yeah. The thing is, with this, it works, but you have to go in and split them up. I've done that for you, but I've wanted to show you this so that I'm giving them credit, because I did not make those. So please don't think that I was talented enough to make this. Well, anyway, what we're gonna do here is, so here I will also provide these. I have made sprites. So what we're gonna do is go back to my USB, back to sprites in use, and just to show you guys, I split those sprite maps up to the various things, and they don't look like much, but they go into Unity quite nicely. And yeah, just giving you something. So I'll provide those for easy download, and yeah, Koopa Troopa, Goomba, you name it. So we're just gonna go here, drag and drop these into our assets folder so I don't go insane. Let's create a new folder. Let's name this sprites. Would you look at that? Let's go here, select them all, drag them in the sprites folder before we do anything or touch them. So by default, when you images or just meshes or anything dragged into Unity are considered a texture. So what we're going to do is select the first, or select the last, select the first, press shift, go here, select sprite. That way we don't have to singly go through one by one. Go for sprite mode, select multiple, go under here, generate bitmaps by linear, override, apply. I mean, technically you don't really have to do this, but hey, you have to apply, but you don't have to override and mess around with the format. Just because I've already messed around, I'm gonna put on a true color, then override again, or apply again, sorry. So with that applied, the green circle, blue circle of death. Here we're gonna go to our default Mario, up, go to sprite editor, open this, and so we have this huge image with these little sprites. So what we're gonna do is take advantage of the nicely integrated sprite editor tools that Unity has given us for free. Go up to here, there's a tab that says slice, click on it, go to automatic, center, delete existing, and go to slice. And as you can see, it has sliced these up rather nicely for us, and we don't have to do too much of anything. So what we're gonna do is click apply. Well, wait, sorry. So thing is, some of these are right and some of these are left. Thing is, we can select what we want to use. So click apply. We'll figure that out later. And rather than me going through and repeating this process with the rest of the sprites, I'm going to do that as we go along. So today we'll just be focusing on Mario. So yeah, go here, click on Mario. Firstly, we need to find a idle. So there we go. That's rather ugly because it's blown up to Lord knows what. Let's click on our player. First, we have quite a few things to get rid of. Go to select the cube, mesh filter, remove, mesh renderer, remove, box collider 2D, keep that there for now. What we're going to do now is open up our Playercontroller Script. So yeah, that's going to open up in Visual Studios, and if you don't know how to do that, I will try to remember to leave a description, a link in the description of how to nicely join Visual Studios to Unity. But I mean, just installing Unity 5 gives you the option to do that anyway. There's some type of cryptic stuff. Yeah, it's literally dragging and dropping a file. Well, anyway, yeah, I will try to do that. So, but Mono Develop's not too bad. I just haven't used it. So, yeah. Okay, so we have quite a few things that we need to fix with this script. Firstly, we can get rid of our base color and power color. Get rid of that. Get rid of the renderer variable. With that removed, let's get rid of its corresponding variables. So go here. Let's get rid of the state function there. Let's get rid of a lot of these ugly spaces and lines. So let's just compile this because this is really just ugly. I don't know why on God I wrote this like this. Okay, and another thing, let's get rid of these curly braces for these one-lined if statements, which is I've just found out is a taboo in the world of programming. Sorry if you thought I was an idiot. You have every right to do so. Press tab, format this nicely, just because of the OCD. And I'm just using to get rid of lines. I don't know if it's the same in Mono Develop, but in Visual Studios it's Control X to easily navigate and switch a line. I use Alt up, down, and various keys. Yeah, you know, your typical Windows short keys work. So let's get rid of the state, Control X, extra line, Control X, one line if statement, get rid of that, Control X, Control X, Control X. Bring this back, proper indentation, Shift Tab. Same here, Control X, Control X. All right, now that's a decent looking script there. So now that we won't have any problems integrating our sprite, what we're going to do is now leave this where it is, because we went inside to remove this, remove the unnecessary parts of our script, mainly for the reason because we had a scaling issue with our player state. By default, it would make our sprite way too small, and I didn't want to waste precious, valuable time showing you guys it doing that, because it was just something that we did earlier. So with that, we're gonna go back to our scene, click on our player, go to component, Sprite Renderer. So let's do that. So with the sprites, let's go here. Let's find a default. Make sure you grab this one, and it is default Mario Sprite 8, not 7. Not 7. This one has a George Lopez head. Default Mario Sprite 8. So go here, go back to our player, 8, player, okay. So what we're gonna do, Sprite, number 8, Click on him, and yeah, see how tiny he is? That's what our, even if we were to scale this, that's what the script would have made our sprite every single time, because we were scaling just the way that it was. So without further ado, we're just going to take this, go up back to our player, go to the scale input in the transform component. Let's just play around with some variables. Let's do 3 in the X, 3 in the Y, 3 in the Z. Oh, that's 33. That's still pretty small. So let's go 5, 5, 5. Still pretty small. 8, 8, 8. I think I can go with that. Let's 7.3. 7 point. Let me go 7.5. Feeling saucy. 7.5. Okay, I'm cool with that. Let's go to our box gliders here and see how they're just in our scene view, how they're just disgusting. So let's go here. Let's go to Edit Collider. Not even. Let's go to the little gizmo button. Let's go to Reset, and it just nicely shapes down to the sprite. Let's go to our second box glider here. Let's go Reset. Nicely shapes down to the sprite. Let's go to our raycast component, which is a child of our player. Let's go down to its 3D box glider. Keep that in mind. Let's go Reset, and it nicely just, yeah, it does what it wants to do. So we're just going to, yeah. Something around there. So I'm getting, let's see here. Nope, don't make it a trigger. Let's reset here. And yeah, that's just like 1.1.00005, and then, oh, that is not wrong, 0.005 and 1. Nope, that's wrong. Reset. There we go. Just leave it how it is. It doesn't even matter right now. We'll fix the rest of that later. So let's go here and see what we can do. And yeah, so we can jump, we can do anything. We're Mario, and see how just disgusting this jumping is. And we're going off to oblivion. So yeah, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that indeed. So for the sake of this video, let's just disable the Koopa Troopa, just like the Goomba. We're gonna fix them as well. Let's go back to our player controller script. No. Before we do that, let's take a look at our sprites. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun here. So basically, when we move our player, it's not moving. He's not moving appropriately the way that Mario is supposed to move in the original Super Mario Brothers. So we're gonna go back to our player component, our player game object. Go to Add a Component. Just pick Animator, not Animation, Animator. Go here, and then we're going to open up. I already have this open. There's an animation window and an animator window, but to get that, what you would do is go to Window, Animation, and Animator. You will need both. For the sakes of this video. So go to your open up an animation window. Preferably it's usually here under your inspector, or you can put it here. I like to put it here just because I get more room. If you're running some nice dual screen action, just find the setup that works out for you. Anything's better than nothing. So here. Now what you're going to do is go to our sprites, and we're going to be looking for, let's find this. So there is, here's sprite 8, and then we're going to be looking at 9, 10, and 11. 9, 10, and 11. So go to 9, hold shift, press 11, bring it here. Oh, sorry, skipping the gun. We have to create an animation clip name first. Let's call this walking underscore right. And we're gonna put this in the assets folder, and we're going to right click, select, make a new folder, call this animations, animations and such. Press save, walking underscore dot anim, and you look at our assets in our project hierarchy, and it's made a animations folder for us. So let's go back to our project inspector sorter thing, click 9, 10, 11, drag and drop them over here, and awesome, we have movement. Now let's press play. Wait, he looks like a Mayan crackhead. Let's go over here, and we can see that it's playing 60 frames per second, but we only have 3 sprites. So let's turn that down to about 6 and see what we do. Okay, that's a little too jerky. Let's go up to another increment of 3, since we have 3 sprites. Let's go to 9, see what that works like. That's a little more believable. So let's go there. Nice, nice, nice. And as you can see, if we go to our assets and go to our animations, we have our walking right animation clip, which is playing, which is looping, which we want. Then above it, we have our player controller. So if you go back to our player, go back to our animator tab, press select, you have your controllers, your player, and then it's just going to, what that does is it takes advantage of the animator component, which is to the tab right next to my animation tab or animation window. This setup will vary for you. So we're going to click on the animator, and you can see that here now we have a state. This is a state, and it's walking right, and basically this is our entry, and from entry we're going to do this. So if we press play right now, we will be walking right. Yep. Well, that's not how he starts off. One, we want to go back to our animation tab, click here underneath you see the record, play, go to previous keyframe and next keyframe. In the sample button, or the sample in input window where we input 9, so if you don't have 9 inputted, make sure that you input 9. Inputted. Anyway, go here. There is a drop down tab, select menu sort of thing. Go to create new clip. We're going to do idle underscore right. Okay, idle underscore right. And what we're going to do is go back to our sprites folder. Go back to the good old default Mario sprite underscore 8. Drag and drop that there and press play. And you see what happens? It's 1 frame for 60 seconds, so we don't see a difference. Now what we're going to do here is, since that's saved in our screen, we see now that another state has occurred in our animator window. So Mario's idle before he walks, so it would make more sense to, let's right click on this, go to set as default state, because technically that's what happens, and then we're going to make a transition from here to here. So he has now the ability to go from idle to walking. So with that, let's press play and see what happens. Happens what we want, but as he's staying still, he's not going idle. He does not start as idle. He cannot jump. That's partially due to our poorly walkie script. But anyway, so what we're going to do here is One, we're going to click on this arrow here. We're going to deselect the has exit time. Drag and drop. You see this blue pane window. Drag that closer to 0. You kind of want to get the entry from the previous animation to the animation that is desired as little as possible in this game, because everything's so tightly controlled. Not really. It's not really fluid like a lot of things are today, but it's very tightly controlled and wonky and just arcade filly. So you want to get things as tight as possible. So from there, we want to have a state going. We want to be able to go from idle to walking, but we also want to be able to go back to idle, and that's why we're continuously running. So let's right click on idle and go to make transition. Go here, select, and then we're gonna want to drag this blue pane up. Blue pane. There's a little arrow right here that allows you control closer to 0. Drag this closer to let's say this middle thing here. That's gonna be like 0 to 0.02. Alright, go above it, deselect has exit time. Oh, would you look at that? That's very nice. Let's slow this down just a bit so you can get a feel for, yeah, so it's going from walking to stopping. Alright, now he is idle, just like we wanted. So these transitions allow us to go from state to state, but only when conditions are met. See here you have conditions and the list is empty. Therefore the exit time is ignored and the animation is overlooked. Since we're not doing a one-way directional this state to this state, we're doing kind of a interconnected state transferent energy, Sir Isaac Newton type of deal. So see, we go to click conditions and we don't have any parameters. So we do select this minus, go back here, and if you go to your animators window, you see that there is a plus button, and this plus button allows us to add parameters of floats of type float, int, bool, and trigger. We're gonna go for bool just because I like the action of having conditional flags. So let's go for bool, and let's say underscore or lowercase m moving and then capital R right. So with moving right, we're going to initially set that to false. This is its initial value, so it's initially false. So we're going to go from idle right to walking right, and here we have the transition that is pointing towards walking right. So from idle to walking, click on that, and we're going to go to the conditions window or tab drop down menu, go to moving right. If moving right is true, then we will do the walking right animation. Else, if walking right is false, we're going to go to the other transition sub-state menu and click on conditions, add moving right false. So that will take us from walking right to idle right. Click on play, go here, see the same thing is happening because walking or moving right is false. Let's go up here to our parameters tab, select moving right, and now we got the goods. So without further ado, and so I can just cut the BS and give you an idea of what we'll be working with. We'll need to do one of these type of transitional states and make an animation that correlates with a state for every single thing that our Mario, our player, will be doing for the various different states. But on the good side, this is very nice because we have conditions and functionality set up without writing a single line of code. And putting this in code works so nicely than the days of old. So I'm not complaining at all. So what we're going to do now is just to get the ball rolling, and so I can get out of this wonky state of complaining and messing up and mispronouncing words, let's go back to our player controller script. And here, okay, sorry Windows, I didn't mean to hiccup. So with our script cleaned out and straightened up, I missed the line, would you look at that. Okay, with our script just cleaned out and straightened up, we're gonna define a couple of things. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna need an animator variable that allows us to shorthand our access. We're gonna need, sorry, I'm explaining this wrongly. We're gonna want to access the animator component, and just like the rigid body 2D component, we don't want to write out get component rigid body every single line. So what we're gonna do is Animator, name this anim, and in the start method, just go to anim equals get component animator. And would you look at that, it works so nicely. So we want to be able to also know when the player is moving right. So what we're going to do is make a boolean flag. So bool, say moving underscore, lowercase m, capital R, moving right. Go from here, and we don't have to give it an initial value or anything. We're going to go to our fixed update function. And here what we're going to do is, no, actually, I'm going to jump the gun, and I'm going to make another instance of the update method. It's been a long time since this script has seen it anyway, and update and fix update can run in the same instance of the script, if you were wondering. That is not me talking down to you, it's just sharing a little tip, so yeah. Anyway, on back to the script. So void update, we're going to want to grab our animator component, so anim dot, so we want to match up the moving right that is in the animator to our moving right that is in our script. So we're going to say set bool, parentheses, go away malware, and then we need to, there's an int ID and also a bool value that are serve as parameters that are being passed into this internal method. So we're going to, in the quotations that I just entered in, and you have to enter in as well, name whatever you put in for the parameter exactly, case sensitive, exactly as you entered in whatever the parameter that you set up for those transitions between idle right and moving right. That goes in quotations, and whatever boolean you declared in your script goes in the bool value parameter to the right of it, separated by a comma, and just put it in the statement with a semicolon as always. And this needs to be called needs to be called as many times as the script is running or the scene is running. So update serves this function rather nicely. So what we're going to do now is, so we have set the two booleans together to we have set the two booleans to equal one another, but we haven't given them a value, so it will remain false, and our scene will always, and our player will always remain idle. So what we're going to do is go to the fix update method function call, go to our the line underneath if input.keycode right arrow that allows us to move right, and you see the transform.translate. Go here, and then under it or above it, doesn't really matter. So as long as our input.key or player is holding down the right arrow or the D arrow, we're going to set moving right equal to true. And then if anything else, moving right equals false. And it's as simple as that, man. Control S, back to here. Go here. And then, yeah, we're moving to our left. And we're moving to the right. And look at us. Look, oh my god. He's done it again. So, yeah, that's what we want to do. And also, let's go back to our script. There's another thing that I forgot. So we're going to go here. And we're going to go to the bottom of the script where we see the void on trigger enter. We're going to change this on trigger enter 2D to on trigger stay 2D. And then also this can stay as on trigger exit. Probably not the biggest difference in the world, but it would make more sense as long as our player's collider or trigger is on the ground, then we can jump. And we need to go here and make sure that our player's colliders actually serving a purpose. So if we go to our player, we see that it has no trigger collider. So we're going to go to, let's use the second one just because it makes more sense. Go to the trigger, up, make sure you can see it in your scene view. Select is trigger, go here, and then we're going to just drag this to where his feet are. And then from there, we should be able to jump rather nicely. And that fixed the wonky jumping. And we can move to the right. For now, obviously we're gonna want to change this. And I grabbed a mushroom and nothing happened. So yeah. This video is getting a little lengthy. So what I'm gonna do is end the video here, and I have a bit of a challenge for you. Let's see if you can, with the sprites that I provided, as well as the scripting or the implementation of the animations and the animation state control, as well as assigning those parameters to our script. Let's see if you can do the same with Mario moving left and Mario jumping. Just something very simple. And we will go on to do that and fix the jumping, as well as aligning the rest of his animations in the next video. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being patient with me, and we are one step closer. I just wanted to focus on getting the collider and functionality a little bit smoother before we added fireballs or anything else, because it's gonna get rather messy if we just keep adding on to trash, and it's been rather rough. So yeah, without further ado, anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. So yeah, stay tuned for more of me, and bye bye. Yeah. Bye, you guys. Save your scene.